I am completely blown away, floored, mesmerized at what I just saw. I said that this E3 was going to be the most epic, the most amazing, the most fantastic E3 that we've seen in a very long time. I had that feeling with all the rumors and the theories and the games that were announced to be shown at this E3. There was no way that it wasn't going to be anything other than epic. And even Microsoft exceeded my expectations and brought one of the best press conferences I have seen for them in a very, very long time. Now, all of this is subjective. If you didn't see any games in this press conference that you like or enjoyed, if you were looking for that one or two thing and didn't get it, then maybe you were let down or maybe you thought it wasn't great. But let me tell you, it was amazing. It wasn't just amazing because of what they showed. It wasn't just amazing because it was all games non-stop. The entire thing was jam-packed, crammed full of amazing video games. It was the promise they gave us and the commitment that Microsoft has shown us into getting back into the gaming industry and getting back into the position they were once in. They want these first-party exclusives. They know that they've been lacking and they're doing everything they can to get our faith back as gamers and prove to us that in the next few years, they will be back to where they used to be. And they did this in quite a few different ways over the event, and I want to talk about them first. To start with, in this event, they showed 50 games. 18 of those were exclusive. Not all of them were actually exclusive. It's sort of exclusive initial release. Maybe the Tomb Raider game will be exclusive for the first year and then move to PlayStation later on. But there was actually a load of exclusive games, which was really nice since the list of exclusive games are so small. Granted, most of these exclusive games were sequels to franchises they already have, but those sequels still looked incredible and I can't wait to play them. They premiered 15 games we haven't seen anything of, games that we were all dying to get a hold of, games that we really badly wanted to see for the longest time. They showed us something of those games for the first time. Now, Xbox does this better than anyone else because they pay to get these games shown in their conference, so it makes it look like these games might only be on Xbox. For a general consumer, they might get confused and think, oh, Battlefield 5 is only on Xbox because I saw it on the Xbox conference. I'll go out and buy an Xbox for Battlefield. But at the same time, these games do need to be shown somewhere. I mean, some of the developers have their own conferences like Bethesda, EA, and Ubisoft, but then you have CD Projekt Red, you have Rockstar, you have these companies that need somewhere to show their games. And that's where the Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox conferences come into play. That's where these games get shown. But you do want quite a few exclusives thrown in there as well from the company that you're watching the conference of. Unfortunately, Xbox isn't in that position. They haven't received the same support as PlayStation, and it seemed really iffy lately as to, are they going to even make a new Xbox console? Are they even going to move forward in the gaming industry? Are they going to keep making games? Because their first-party exclusives have been so lackluster, it seems like they haven't really cared. Well, that's what they really aim to show in this event that they were committed to. Phil Spencer came out and officially announced they have purchased 5 new development companies to make games exclusively for the system, to work hand in hand with Xbox and make first-party exclusives, to make brand new IPs for the system. So while throughout this thing we didn't see any brand new exciting IPs, we only saw sequels to other games, you can't just go from 0 to 100. You can't decide one day, okay, let's get back into this. Let's make some exclusives. And then within 6 months, have all these games that you can show. You need to put the stepping stones in place. You need to start the progress somewhere. And what they have done, they brought these companies on board and they've even created their own brand new development team to start making games. And I know how that seems. I know it's like, geez, all right, we're this far into the Xbox lifespan and you're only now making this commitment, but at least they're making it. At least they're taking those steps. And they seem to really have that mindset now of only games, because this whole conference was just about games. They didn't mess around with anything else. The only time they diverted away from games was to talk about Game Pass. And again, Game Pass is actually pretty great. It's $10 a month and you get access to this whole library of games that you can play kind of like Netflix. But the best thing about it is they're putting all their exclusive first-party games on there day one. You can play Crackdown 3 day one if you have Game Pass. And it's just another one of those ways to get you playing on Xbox, because for $10 a month, you have access to everything Xbox. And it was the first time we've actually had confirmation they're working on a new system. They said they already have people working on the new Xbox system. So I can guarantee you that most of these companies that just got on board are going to be making games, new IPs for the new Xbox that's going to be coming out in, I don't know, 2 years. So yeah, maybe the Xbox One, maybe it was disappointing for the most part. Maybe it's the Wii U of the Xbox line, but it seems like they're making that commitment to get back into it. And so I know it's easy to be impatient and just be like, we didn't see anything new. I don't like Gears of War. I don't want, and I'm out, Xbox. I know it's easy to get impatient. I would say hold your horses before you give up on them completely, because that commitment I saw today, it was a spark. It was heart, it was soul. It was gamers wanting to be a gaming company again. So I think just give them time, and they deserve a lot of credit for that, in my opinion. But I know what you want to hear. You want to talk about games. I just wanted to get that out of the way, because there were some people that didn't seem to catch that point and were disappointed in this conference, and I don't see how, because I was almost in tears like 2 or 3 times. So here are the 2 biggest Xbox franchises that we had sequels announced for. There is a new Halo game coming called Halo Infinite. I would assume that is a sequel. That is Halo 6. They didn't clarify it. We saw a cinematic trailer. It did look really epic, and I have to say, kicking off the conference with that, and knowing that if they're starting with that there is so much more awesome stuff to come, that was the moment where I was like, oh, this is gonna be real. And then Gears 5. Later on in the conference, right near the end, we had a teaser for Gears Pop, a really average looking mobile game using the Pop figurines. I'm not sure what that's about. And Gears Tactics, a game that looks kind of like Mario and Rabbids or XCOM. I might dabble in it. I will say, as a fan of those kind of games, it does look like a quality version of those games. It's just not really what I wanted to see right now. I was so ready for Gears 5. And then we saw it, and it was a cinematic trailer with a tiny bit of gameplay, but it did look epic. It continues the story from 4, where I left off with Kate and her story arc, and moving forward, it seems like she's going to be the central focus and the main character, which I'm completely down for. It's the first time we're having a female character lead for a Gears of War game, but if you had played Gears of War 4, or just the other Gears in general, it is a natural progression. She is a really cool character, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about her and seeing where her story goes. Other big ones, there's a sequel to Dying Light. I didn't play all that much of the first game, but I did enjoy it. It is a fun game with a load of zombies and parkour. So if you're a fan of the first one, this new one looks absolutely gorgeous and does look like a good sequel game to the first one. I'm still playing State of Decay right now, which, by the way, is an Xbox exclusive that you can play. I really enjoy it. I think it's a really fun game, especially playing with friends. Devil May Cry 5. If you know me, if you watch my channel, I've talked about it quite a few times. It's on my top 10 favorite games of all time. Devil May Cry 1, that is. I adore this series. I love it all to death. I even enjoyed DMC. Devil May Cry 4 was really fun, and this is the next step onto that. It looks like you're playing as Nero again, although Nero looks very different. We saw a snippet of Dante at the end, and he also looks very different. I'm not sure what's happening with the character models, but the actual trailer was crazy and looks awesome, and I can't wait to play it. The creator of the game came out and said he feels like it's the best game he's ever made. That was one of the times where I was just shivering all over. Sounds lame, but while I was watching that, I had chills. The big one that I really wanted this entire weekend, I said, whoever showed this game was going to win it for me. Screw Nintendo, screw Sony, screw anyone who didn't show this game. If it was shown, I was gonna lose my mind. And Xbox showed it right at the end. They pulled a fake out where it looked like the event was over, and then Phil Spencer got cut off by some glitchy graphics, and then we finally saw, for the first time in 6 friggin' years, something more of Cyberpunk 2077. I can't tell you how excited I am for this. 6 years ago, I saw this trailer. We all saw this trailer of an amazing looking game that looked like it was set in the world of Blade Runner with androids in the future, and made by CD Projekt Red, the same company that made The Witcher. So it's essentially a Witcher 3 type game, but in the future in a cyberpunk setting. Guys, I'm just so hyped for this, and that trailer looked really cool. We saw more of the world. I've only seen it one time as of right now, so I can't wait to go back through and try and find all the hidden little details. That game is, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We didn't get a release date, unfortunately, but I'm so excited. I don't know if that automatically means that they won the event, but I gotta say I'm very impressed. It puts EA's to shame so far. Not that EA didn't do a good enough job of putting themselves to shame. The sequel to Life is Strange ended up being called The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. It looks like a very similar style of game. I love games like this. I love Telltale games. Life is Strange was amazing. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's set in the same universe, but with a different character, obviously a young boy who looks like he has a crazy imagination. And from what I can tell, it seems like you don't actually have powers like you did in the first game. It's more about his imagination, which makes you feel like you have powers, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm just going by the trailer. A new Battletoads game is being made. We didn't see anything of it, sadly, but we were told that it's being made, presumably by Rare. I haven't looked into that, but I mean, you would assume so. I'm excited to see how that turns out. I hope it has a lot of character and spunk and doesn't miss the mark. Everyone's favorite Xbox exclusive Cuphead is getting a new playable character and extra bosses. Terry Crews yelled a bunch in the Crackdown 3 trailer, which we saw a little bit more of. And honestly, Terry Crews yelling through the whole thing made it a lot better. So I hope you can play as him and have him yelling the whole time, because that would make the game great. We saw some of Division 2. I might try it out when it comes out, but I was not impressed by the trailer. It looked just as fun as the first one looked, but then when you actually play it, unless you have really great friends to play with, it's kind of average. Bethesda revealed a new Fallout 76 trailer. I'm surprised they didn't wait till their event, which starts in like an hour or two from now, so I gotta be quick filming this. What I saw of that really impressed me. It does look like it's running on their old engine, a similar engine to Fallout 4. And considering, unless I'm being really stupid, that's the same engine as Skyrim, there's no reason, technically, why Fallout 76 can't come to Switch. This whole event was amazing. It was games, non-stop. Phil Spencer came out, said a couple words, and then the whole thing was games up until Forza, and then we had to put up with some Forza Let's Play. But to be honest, I didn't mind it. The game looks enjoyable for a car game. I'm not really into car games, but it does look enjoyable. It looks really beautiful. It looks absolutely gorgeous, actually, and it does look like fun to play for what it is. And I really didn't mind them taking the time to talk about it, because they did just smash the start of the event with really awesome announcements and trailers and everything. So if they wanted to spend a few minutes on their Forza game, one of their actual exclusive games that people really enjoy, I was all down for that. Even though it wasn't for me, I was down for it, and they didn't spend too much time on it. And again, it did look good for what it was. Jump Force is one I'm really curious to see, because I really love the concept of the J-Stars Battle game, whatever it was. I actually bought it recently because I wanted to play as Gon and Killua from Hunter x Hunter. Unfortunately, the game itself is kind of boring. I don't like the gameplay. I don't like the battle mechanic. So I'm really hoping that this one's going to have a much better, more fleshed out battle mechanic, and you can play as all these crazy characters. But I mean, end of the day, you got Goku. So as long as it plays well, I'm happy. Just Cause 4. It looked like Just Cause 3, but that's not a bad thing, because Just Cause 3 was a thrill ride, and I can't wait to dive into the fourth game. Kingdom Hearts 3, this was definitely one of the times that I started welling up. I was blown away by this. It starts with you seeing the original trio, and just them talking to each other was getting to me, but then when they looked over and they saw Elsa running across the frozen lake, I was just about to start bursting out into singing Let It Go, but then I remembered I was live streaming, so I couldn't. But it looked like they were in the freaking movie, man. It looked like they were standing in Frozen, and you were playing a part of that world. Adored it. We saw some Tangled. Of course, saw some Toy Story, and that was the other point where I was like, hold it in, Woodison, you can make it. They showed that they have 2 DLC packs for Sea of Thieves coming out, and I know, right? Calm down. As someone that actually kind of enjoyed the game though and is looking for something more to do, so it looks like you go into this lava world, this new area of uncharted waters, and there's lava and fire and all of that stuff, and there's skeleton crews that go around in NPC ships. And I think that's going to be a separate realm that you can go into with other players. That's the feeling I got from it, so it doesn't mess up that relaxing core mechanic outside. Maybe I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that's what they're going to do, and I'll definitely check it out. Again, it's free on Game Pass, so I may as well. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, a new From Software game. The same development company that made Dark Souls. It's a brand new game from them, and it looks very similar, but it actually looks really awesome. It looks like you can move at a little bit faster pace. If you do have Xbox One Game Pass, they dropped The First Division, Fallout 4, and Elder Scrolls Online. You can all play that for free starting today, and they introduced a new fast start feature where apparently it makes all the games on Game Pass run up to 2 times faster. It's whatever, but if you do use Game Pass, at least a lot of the games you're playing will run and load a lot faster. I mean, you can't complain. We saw a trailer for the new Tomb Raider, and I'm assuming it's going to be exclusive on Xbox for a year and then going to PlayStation again, who knows. But the trailer did look really awesome. The Tomb Raider games, if you haven't played the new reimagining of Tomb Raider, they are absolutely insanely epic. They are fantastic games. Now, yes, while they did show the 50 games they said they were going to show, and they did premiere 15 games that we've seen nowhere else, their 18 exclusive games were a little bit, yeah, okay. You have your few that are actually exclusive first-party games for the system. Then you have a bunch that are launch exclusives, which means they come out on Xbox first and then slowly start going to other places eventually. And there's probably a few. I think Ori was actually exclusive. So while in reality we weren't given that many awesome exclusive games reasons to go out and buy the system unless you're already a fan of these series like Halo and Gears of War, and I gotta say, if you are a fan and you already have the systems, we are excited. Maybe while they didn't give anyone new a reason to go out and get a system right now, it was the promise they delivered, actually making a new development team themselves, as well as buying 5 other amazing development teams to start working exclusively on their console. That's what they needed to do. It's what Sony's already done. It's what Nintendo wants to do. It's buying these companies to make games for their system. They're essentially doing what Sony's been doing. They're just really late to it. And it's that promise and the excitement for what could possibly come if they keep up that support and they keep up that promise. I did not expect them to take everything that was weak about their company and go, guys, we're fixing all of it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get back there. But as someone who is an old school Xbox fan, this for me was hope. That's what got me excited. That's what gave me hope. And the Cyberpunk trailer was just a freaking huge, massive cherry on top that I can't wait to eat first. I hope you're having fun this weekend. If you liked this video, make sure to actually like it. If you learned a little something, or if you just had fun here today, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I talked a heck of a lot, so I hope I can fit it into a reasonable amount of video. Whew, this is a good weekend.